Namaskaram, everybody. Let's begin. Om Bhijapuragadekshukarmukurujapchakrabjapashotpala Vrayyagraswapishanratnakalashaif Prodhyatkaramborvaha Dheyo Vallabhayasa Padmakaraya Ashlishto Jvaladbhushaya Vishwotpatti Vipatti Samsatikaro Vignesha Ishtardadha Srinathadigurutrayam Ganapatim Pitatrayam Bhairavam Siddhaugam Vatukatrayam Padayugam Dhutikramam Mandalam वीरान्ध्यष्टचतुष्कषष्टिनवकं वीरावळी पञ्चकं श्रीमन्मालिनि मन्त्रराजसहितं वन्दे गुरोर्मण्डलम् माधर्मे मधुकैटभग्निमहिषः प्राणापहारोद्यमे हेलनिर्मितधूम्रलोचनवदे हे चण्डमुण्डर्धिनी निःशेषे कृतरक्तबीजदनुजे नित्ये निशुम्भापहे शुम्भध्वंसिनि संहर सुदुरितन् दुर्गे नमस्तेऽम्बिके सर्वं श्रीचण्डी महालक्ष्मी श्रीपादुकां पूजयामि तर्पयामि नमः सद्गुरुं श्रीपादुकां पूजयामि तर्पयामि नमः. Welcome all of you for this wonderful occasion of the inauguration of our Chanditantra Mahavidyalayas knowledge portal. I'm not simply calling it as a blogspot because this has been a dream, and this is a repository of knowledge for our Mahavidyalaya and a beginning of a lot of new things for our students. And it has become a kind of a dedicated space for learning, excellence, and communication, particularly in writing. Before I introduce our chief guest, Sri Keshav Ramamurthy, who's going to inaugurate our Blogspot, let me talk something very different this evening. Conventionally, words of gratitude are actually offered at the very end of the program. However, I believe that today is an occasion where gratitude must come first. Before we celebrate the inauguration of this knowledge portal, it is only appropriate that we acknowledge those whose selfless efforts have made it a reality. In fact, I hesitate to even call this a blogspot anymore because, as I told you, over the past several weeks, or rather the last week, it has been evolving into something much larger. It has become a living repository of knowledge, a place where our articles, reflections, and research and contemplations are brought together so that sincere seekers across the world can study them from a single authentic source. The first person I would like to acknowledge is Vidyarthi Amrita Manjari. Amrita joined our Mahavidyalaya in 2024 or 23, I guess, I'm not sure, and has been a very sincere student of Durga Saptashati classes ever since. What always stood out for me was about her inquisitive mind. She was never meant to comment or communicate in that conventional sources of learning. She wanted to understand things in a much deeper manner. Her interest in studying the Sri Yantra through the perspectives of mathematics and physics and astronomy reflected that the spirit of inquiry is much deeper. Over time, I have also witnessed her growth into being a humble and deeply committed Vidyarthi, gracefully balancing her family, professional responsibilities, and spiritual pursuits. It was Amrita who first laid the foundations of what we are going to see today. She is the initiative built the initial framework and created the skeletal structure upon which the entire knowledge portal has now grown. And for thank you so much, Amrita, for pioneering your efforts. The Mahavidyalaya will always remain grateful to you. The second person I would like to acknowledge is Vidyarthi Madhuri Haradun. Madhuri has been in Mahavidyalaya since August 2025. Her sincerity, discipline, and willingness to serve has been evident from the very beginning. She gradually assumed administrative responsibilities within the Mahavidyalaya. She also stepped forward to continuing developing this portal. We all we had felt that time has come for the Mahavidyalaya to have this dedicated space. And when I spoke about this to Madhuri, she instantly accepted. Though she was nowhere an expert, but she was willing to learn and trying to do her best, which is what is our Mahavidyalaya all about. We learn, we commit, and we become experts. That's the way we grow in sadhana, and that's the way we grow in our seva. And Madhuri is an embodiment of such a perfection. Madhuri embraced that responsibility with complete dedication and continued to carry the work forward with great perseverance. As the efforts were progressing, thank you, Madhuri, so much for stepping in and helping to bring this Blogspot into existence. We entered the profound period of Mahavarahi Upasana, where the Stotramala classes were going on. It became increasingly clear that we needed someone with a professional and a technical expertise to take this project to the next level. We prayed sincerely to Mahavarahi to show us the way, and has happened so many times before us. When the intention is pure, when the work is meant for the welfare of everyone, Devi responds in her own way. Through her grace, Vidyarthi Mansi Ma came into our lives. Though a very new student to the Mahavidyalaya, Mansi Ma joined us from Boston, immediately offered her expertise after learning about this initiative. Together with her husband, who professionally works in this particular field, she undertook the technical architecture, coding, and all the fine aspects that transformed the vision into a beautiful knowledge portal that we are inaugurating today. When I look back at this entire journey, I cannot help but to seek the manifestation of Shakti, Devi, through the threefold Shakti. Thank you so much, Mansima, for being a part of this team and helping us to bring this into picture. So, therefore, it is appropriate to conclude that Amrita became the Icha Shakti, the divine will that initiated the vision. Madhuri became the Kriya Shakti, the dedicated action that sustained the work. And Mansi became the Jnana Shakti, the knowledge and technical wisdom that brought the vision to completion. Together, they beautifully manifested the complete Shakti of the Divine Mother through selfless service. On behalf of the entire Sri Chandi Tantra Mahavidyalaya, we are very proud of our students. I offer my heartfelt gratitude to all three of you. Thank you, maybe a very small word, but for what you have contributed. My sincere prayer is to Jagannatha to continue to shower her grace upon you and your families and bless you with the strength, wisdom, and humility. And may you continue to grow in your studies, your sadhana, and your seva. May each one of you continue to remember that the study of the Shastras is ultimately the study of your own self. Thank you so much. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Now, this is a very fun part for me that I'm going to introduce my dear Keshav. It gives me immense joy and gratitude to introduce our chief guest for today's inauguration, Vidyarthi Keshav Ramamurthy, affectionately known to us as our initiated student of a Mahavidyalaya as Arya. It gives me immense joy and gratitude to introduce our chief guest, Keshav, under my guidance as a young student in grade 6 at Sri Shankara Global Academy in Chennai, where I had the opportunity to teach him international English and mentor him throughout his schooling until grade 12. As a child, he had spent much of his time at our Peetam in Chennai, participating in the daily activities, volunteering, and during pujas, and quietly became a part of the spiritual family. From a very young age, I could recognize that he possessed an exceptional, sharp, and an inquisitive mind. Like every gifted youngster, he had the abundant energy and curiosity. My goal was simply to help him channel through those qualities in the right direction. Watching him grow over the years has been one of the greatest joys of my journey as a teacher. Even then, he had a natural inclination towards computers and technology. Although he wished to pursue computer science in India, I encouraged him to study in the United States because I felt that a mind of his caliber deserved global exposure and opportunities. Today, he's pursuing his studies in the United States while also working up with a startup, continuously learning, growing, and exploring new frontiers in technology. To me, Kesha never been merely a student or an alumnus of this Mahavidyalaya. He has always been like my son. Over the years, our relationship has evolved beautifully. If In his younger age, I taught him many aspects of life and learning. Today, I find myself learning from him about technology, artificial intelligence, social media, and the changing perspectives of the younger generations. We continue to exchange our ideas, and those conversations have become deeply enriching to both of us. Many of the technological initiatives that we all see today in our Mahavidyalaya has been benefited from Keshav's guidance, suggestions, and the quiet support that he has offered behind the scenes. It is therefore appropriate that a person who has contributed to strengthening our technological vision should formally inaugurate our knowledge portal today. For me, it is not merely a proud moment, it is above all a deeply humbling one. It reminds me that whatever little we are able to nurture in our students is purely by the infinite grace of Jagan Mata. To witness a student return to serve the very institution that helped him to shape him is the greatest blessing as a teacher I can receive. With great affection and immense happiness, I invite our chief guest, Vidyarthi Keshav Ramamurthy Arya, to deliver the inaugural address and formally inaugurate Sri Chandi Tantra Mahavidyalayas knowledge portal. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Over to you, Keshav.
Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaskaram to Sri Guruji and all of the Vidyarthis present here. As Guruji, I'll shortly introduce myself. As Guruji mentioned, I've been a student for over 10 years now. I started out by meeting him in the school which he was teaching at, my alma mater, Sri Shankara Global Academy in Chennai. During the time that I was a Guruji's student, he would teach us English and social studies. I volunteered at the Sri Datta Guru Peetham after its conception in 2018. And after the establishment of the Sri Chandika Mandali, I graduated in the first batch in 2023. And in 2023, I came to the US under Guruji's guidance and grace to pursue my undergraduate degree in computer science. A major part of my volunteering at the Peetham was to create and maintain the documentation that we were using for the functioning and for the rituals of the Peetham under Guruji's guidance. These documents were prepared in a very professional manner, and they were highly instrumental to the functioning of the Peetham and then later the Chandika Mandali. The documents which Guruji and I would have created in 2021 are still being used today, not only in the Peetham and in the Mandali, but even personally, I use the same documents which we had created back then for my own japam and personal and for the rituals which I perform under Guruji's instruction. For any organization to grow, for any organization to come beyond the level of being fully only directed by the founder or the guru or the acharya of the organization, there needs to be sufficient documentation, not only for internal purposes of recording and maintaining the record of the things which the organization have done, but also to make sure that in a future stage, even without Sri Guruji's guidance, that the same activities which were taking place under his guidance can continue in the same smooth way and continue in a professional manner. Without this, any organization which doesn't have documentation would be disorganized, whether that is the Sri Chandi Tantra Mahavidyalaya, or whether that can even be a workplace or a school or a business. Any organization requires proper documentation. That's why this official publications portal and the knowledge portal of the Mahavidyalaya and the official WhatsApp channel is extremely important for the growth and development of the Mahavidyalaya. Not only does it provide an external avenue for knowledge of the Mahavidyalaya and its activities, it also allows the Mahavidyalaya to exemplify the activities of its most exemplar students, who would serve as guiding lights for future sadhakas and vidyarthis who aim to follow the same path as them. Many organizations are limited by the way in which they organize themselves. And under Sri Guruji's guidance, I have learned a lot. In fact, the document keeping of the Peetham and the Mandali was all inspired by Guruji's own record keeping. Every note which he would even take for the classes that he would take for us, just in grade 6 or 7, were all meticulously done. Every single thing was organized in a perfect way. if to share a personal anecdote, when Guruji was teaching us, we were at his home for his Sai Academy tuitions, and he brought out his 10th and 12th grade textbooks. And in each of the textbooks, you can see the detailed notes that he would have taken at the age of 15 and 17. And many of us were shocked because at the time we didn't know how to take notes. We didn't know what notes were. We didn't have any standard of organization. So he would show us the main thing which Guruji has taught to me and this is just one example of that, is that Guruji not only tells us what is the right thing to do. He has also done it from a very young age. Guruji has been doing it. He has been through his inspiration by showing us these notes. Even now in my own professional life or during my studies, I try to emulate the same sincerity that he had displayed, that he continues to display. In a digital world, it's very important. Documentation, both physical and digital, is extremely important. It is extremely difficult to coordinate a global Mahavidyalaya without having a proper documentation portal. And that is why this initiative is extremely important. Now, with Sri Guruji's permission, I would humbly accept this honor to officially inaugurate the Sri Chandi Tantra Mahavidyalaya Knowledge Portal. Is my screen visible? The so the knowledge portal, it features the homepage where you can see a full view of what is being published on the knowledge portal. There are the posts which have been written by Guruji, and you can click on any of the posts to read more. These can also be exported as PDFs in case our Vidyarthis may be unable to access the internet, or they may be on a flight and they would like to read and reflect on a post. They would be able to export this as a PDF and save it locally. You can also see about the Mahavidyalaya, about its founding, its conception, what was the vision and the mission behind the Chandi Tantra Mahavidyalaya and its conception. There is a page which shows, there is a page about our Guruji Sri Sai Srinivas Nandagopal and his own history and his journey into the establishment of the Sri Datta Guru Peedam and the Sri Chandi Tantra Mahavidyalaya. Furthermore, all of the posts are split by category. They have been categorized and they will be continued to be updated as Sri Guruji writes the posts. They will be continued to be updated on these pages. Any post can be searched in case a particular Vidyarthi wants to find a specific post. It's very easy to search for it. If any Vidyarthi wants to know more about a specific topic and Sri Guruji has already written about it, then there is the navigation portal on the right side. There is the news and events, which will soon start to be updated with the upcoming events and the major news of the Mahavidyalaya. And then the reading guide, in case any Vidyarthi wants to dive deeper into this sadhana and learn more about it. Posts will be updated here for any Vidyarthi to read. I'll stop sharing the screen now. I'm deeply humbled by this honor. As Guruji mentioned, we have stayed in touch over the years, even though I'm currently in the US, and we have stayed in touch, and it gives me immense pleasure. It's an honor to be able to serve the Mahavidyalaya, even though due to my studies and my work, I have not been able to be as active as I was previously. It's still always for me an honor to serve the Mahavidyalaya, and I'm deeply humbled that Guruji has bestowed upon me this honor. I'm requesting Sri Guruji's grace and blessings and the blessings of all the Vidyarthis and Sadhakas present today for my continued service to the Mahavidyalaya. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Jai Varahi. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Keshav, for that lovely inauguration and the speech that you gave. Thank you so much. Now it's time to formally announce the office bearers of the Chanditantra Mahavidyalaya Blogspot. I humbly welcome and hand over the administrative responsibilities. I would continue to act as the chief patron of the Blogspot, where I will oversee all the activities. The chief editor will be our very dear Sadika Isha, will be the chief editor for the Mahavidyalaya's Blogspot. Please give a big round of applause to Isha. And the managing editor for the Mahavidyalaya Blogspot will be our Madhuri Haradum. Please give a big round of applause to Madhuri. And the technical guide and the technical assistance will be provided by Amrita. She will be maintaining the Blogspot with all the technicalities. Thank you so much, all the three of you. I'm looking forward to work with you. Mansima, we will take your guidance wherever it is required, and we want you to study first and get accustomed with the Mahavidyalaya, and then we will take a lot of seva from you actually as we move forward. Thank you so much, each one of you. Let me offer Mangalam and prayers to end this session. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantaha Magne Mahi Mahishaha Gobrahmanebhyastu Subhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Tathastu Sarva Mangala Manghalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trayambhake Gauri Narayani Namostute Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Kshama Kshiva Datri Swaha Swada Namostute. Om Shanti 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 Sarvam Shri Chandi Mahalakshmi Arpanamastu Tathastu. Thank you so much, one and all. Thank you, Keshav. It was lovely to see you after a long time in the Mahavidyalaya. Of course, it was virtual, but still it was lovely to see you, and hope to have you sometime in the future. One of our major events that take place in the future, actually. Maybe you will come out to be a much more bigger and a better person, and then coming to serve the Mahavidyalaya continuously. Thank you so much. Thank you all the faculty members, and thank you the administrative office bearers of the Mahavidyalaya Blogspot. Special thanks and prayers to Mansima. Thank you so much. Namaskaram. Let's see in the next session, which is our first anniversary celebration, where we are performing Loka Kalyana Shri Durga Sahasranama Kunkumarchana Puja. Thank you.